what?
You know I don't drink, I'm addicted.
To what?